Think about a playlist right on Spotify. That shit just is legal payola right now, right?
Yeah,
So
that's what it is.
DistroKid will say, look, if you pay for playlisting, we're gonna flag your record because that is against the fucking terms of service. How the fuck you think all of these major artists, bro, come up with a new song and get on Rap Caviar, and there's no independent artists on this motherfucking playlist? Period. Point blank. Like
Right.
independent artists don't get popping music.
Right, because it's the major labels that they're in bed with. So
They didn't
they
put
get,
themselves in position, fellas.
yeah.
Arkatech Beatz.
What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? It's the Arkatech Beatz Music Business Podcast. Today, we have a special guest in the building, entrepreneur, recording artist, SEO, digital marketing, social media marketing expert, Google, Chad Focus.
Big love, man. What's up, fellas? What's up, big dog?
Appreciate you, man. I reached out to you, man, and I've been seeing your story for some time, and we've been working on this platform and just trying to, find our footing and what we wanted to kind of bring to the people. And then once I said, okay, I think it's time for me to really reach out, and you reached right back to me, man, and I appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
And we wanted to just jump into the whole crux of what we want to get into today, which is really, the industry, how artists can survive in this industry, and somebody like yourself who kind of knows what's going on with SEO, digital marketing, social media marketing platforms and stuff like that. Right. I wanted to bring an expert on because, for the folks who don't know, you are an expert, whether people want to say it or what they want. They don't want to give you your prize for it.
Appreciate
it. Give people a little background on where you're from, how you got started, and then we can kind of just jump in.
Super blessed, fellas, man. Well, like I said, appreciate y'all, man. We here Super Bowl Sunday. For the most people that know, man, from Baltimore, Maryland, bro, born and raised, still here, man. We still making noise, man, from the hometown. Super blessed, bro. I'll tell you guys this. I never really looked at the music industry as a way out. I wanted to play ball coming up, like most kids, man. I had hoop dreams. Went to college, bro. And my thing for me to like get out and kind of see the world and have an opportunity to do different was to play ball. You get what I'm saying? So that was my ticket to, not just out of the neighborhood, not just, to leave my surroundings, but to go out here and have experiences. You feel me? That was going to be my ticket to kind of see the world. My infatuation, man, with, IT and computers and technology, bro, it started back in the AOL days, fellas. MySpace days, Black Planet. Like I was telling some of the homies yesterday, right? I was always intrigued, like, damn, bro, how do we make these connections with people around the world? And the way I segue to this to make it make sense for what we talking about today is that the game is always exposure, right? If, you got a dope product and you can go ahead and get it to the eyeballs, it's a game changer. And where I'm from is so many talented people, right? So many people that got skill sets, right? Whether it's sports, whether it's being a creator, whether it's music, but they don't have the exposure. And I'm one of those spaces, fellas, that you from Baltimore, all that you guys know us for is our reputation of being a drug capital, the heroin city, a lot of violence. And then you also know other cities get that same type of like reputation, right? Your Phillies, your Oaklands, your Chi-Towns. And I was trying to figure out a way to, one, change the narrative, and two, how to overcome my circumstances. So that's always been a goal for me. All right. We sit here now today, 2024. And like I say, we segue from a world of a Black Planet, MySpace, Facebook, Instagram. Now we at TikTok. Yo, we got platforms that a lot of homies didn't have access to back in the day. And I said, if we're going to have these platforms, man, why not become an expert on how to utilize them, right? Because they are tools at the end of the day. If you look at it the right way. Some people look at social media as a way to vent, as a way to be nosy, as a way to entertain themselves. I look at it as a way to get my message across to the masses, and to do it for a price point that's way different than the traditional marketing, right? Your TV, your radio, all the ways that people were familiar with back in the day. So that's been my play, guys. Born and raised, man, great family here in Baltimore, bro. Overcome a lot of crazy circumstances. Mom did all she could, bro, as a nurse, 35 years to get us from the inner city, bro, out to the county, bro, to make sure we had a dope middle class life, bro. I'd have been and experienced any and everything. And when I started my record label, the opportunity for me to come home from college, bro, and to go and reach back to the guys I grew up with, family members that didn't have the same opportunity. I think all of us, when we become a certain amount of successful, we think about what we call that survivor's remorse, right? We looking at like, damn, we got these opportunities and I'm in a position, how can I help the other people around us? And I couldn't escape that. So that's what put me in a position, man, to go in and start Focus Music Entertainment. And like, you know, we here today, man. We just blessed, fellas. We got a university. You guys have seen my special and stuff like that, man. We got a Vice TV opportunity. And I took the, you know, things that I learned, man, in corporate America, fellas, and I brought it over to the industry. I done seen the corruption on both sides. And I'm super blessed, man, to have, you know, beat and overcome, man, my fed case, overcome going to the feds and the prisons and getting back on my feet. And I tell people all the time, man, it's not about where you at today. You know, it's about where you trying to go at tomorrow. So this thing a marathon, fellas, and that's kind of where we at right now, bro, just to kind of summarize it up a little bit.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, man. Like, you know, it's just watching your story, man, and just kind of seeing like how you was going the things you was going through and then how you navigated that. And
Yeah.
what I like particularly about your message, man, is your messaging in terms of how you're trying to give back the information to the masses, to the people that will listen.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
And another part of your story that resonated with me is because the same way you was talking like, yo, AOL, Black Planet, MySpace.
We from that.
We from that. You know what I'm saying? And
that.
like and only certain types of inner city guys, because me being from the Bronx, Mike being from Brooklyn, us being cousins, then going back and forth. Like people wasn't up on it when we was trying to get them up on it. We was like, yo, you don't have this, you're not on this situation.
Crazy.
And when we was trying to get people from the block to get laptops, get into the computers, you know, when we was doing all of that type of stuff, people from the block wasn't really understanding what was happening and how things was just evolving like at a rapid pace. Yeah. So when I look at your story, I'm like, okay, this is a guy that gets it. Like he gets it. He really understands it. He just talk that language that not many people really understand, because when we talk about social media marketing, the panels, the bots, the black hat, the search engine optimization, it's like talking another language to a lot of our folks. So,
but let me say this, not to cut you off. It's this business is also very frustrating, because what you see coming in is not actually what it is. You know, as a young kid coming up in this game, and then you're in the game, you're like, okay, all I need to be is talented. All I need is to be able to just get my music or just get my situation in front of this, and then I'm good. That's not the case.
But you know, all right, so put it like this, right? It's a lot of things in life that's smoke and mirrors. All right. I study, you know how the movies come out, bro, and a lot of them are like giving us a precursor, like what's really going to happen. Like, look at iRobot, bro.
Yep.
And now we sitting here today, man, with robots, right, walking around. We got the Tesla joint. Y'all got homies that work at Amazon. Like, they got the robots that go and transfer the packages, because humans get tired, bro, and they try to be extremely efficient, right? So you guys talking about we seeing it coming. You got to be a visionary, right? So how you going to prepare yourself for the future if you're not having your hands on the cusp of what's going on right now? And I look at it, bro, more so as like the ignorance thing, especially in our community, right? It's the people that's pulling the strings behind it. They never look like us. You understand what I'm saying? What I did, fellas, is that I used to go to conferences, man. And like I say, I got into the corporate world. I was the only young brother that looked like me. You know what I'm saying? I'm the only nigga in the building, bro. At the SEO conferences, at PubCon, at TechCon. It's like real life, fellas. This is 2009, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And throughout that entire period, if we not going to go educate ourselves on the systems or the infrastructures, how are we going to go ahead and do this as a mass? So I watched the people that was going to retain the information, and nobody looked like us. So the real conversation of how all this works, fellas, is the world is based off of advertising. Where there is an audience, people that are in that space, advertising is the game. For us, right? They have utilized the mediums that we get information to pacify us and to keep us ignorant, because everything for us is what? Alcohol, entertainment, sex. It's not sexy to go ahead and promote to us technology, investing, things like that. That's just what it is. Listen to our radio stations, right? Everything for us is, you know, a HIV ad, something about personal injury attorney, free tickets to a concert. You know, so the programming, and that was on us, right? What are we listening to? Well, we love our hip hop, all right? But at the end of the day, what is the messages that we propelling? That's why I like the fact that we got a Killer Mike nowadays getting the Grammy Awards, right? And we got somebody that's giving us dope music, but it's conscious. Right. And that's the thing for me, bro, the programming. That's what I always been in tune with. Are we programming ourselves, and are we putting in the right messages into our own mindset, right? And our own consciousness. And now you brothers are having that conversation. And it's frustrating only because we looked at our talent as a way out instead of looking at our intelligence as the way out. So people say all the time, they like, yo, I don't know if he's the best rapper. I tell you this, I'm the smartest rapper. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of the top guys as far as a business mindset, is understanding how the marketing and things work. And we also value each other based off of your talent, right? If you hoop, if you play football, who the fastest, who the strongest, who can jump the highest. Nobody ever had a conversation about, yo, who won the spelling bee, bro? What you look like in that math competition? Let me see your report card. So it's things like that that we don't value, fellas, that we don't have a conversation with coming up, man, as youngsters. We place our homies on a pedestal based off of the talent, and not, yo, bro, where your mind at? How you gonna get us out of these conditions? What do you know differently than your other homies? And that's where it starts off. It start off with us, bro.
Well said.
Yeah, for real, man. Like, honestly, it's exactly the type of time that we're on right now, and that's on this podcast. That's really why we created it. It was to create a platform for information, to get the information back and forth that people just we were watching it implode.
If you don't have the right information, there's no way you're gonna be able to make the right decisions. You know.
But think about this too, fellas, it's also a gatekeeping type of thing, right? So I'm gonna put it like this. For me, a lot of people that see my journey, I was outside, bro. I remember going to a company called Disc Makers, right? And I printed out probably like 50,000 CDs because I'm looking at the game, fellas, from what I seen and trying to do it the right way. So I would go, bro, and take my CDs across everywhere I would go. CIAA, we go to New York, Philly, Cali. So you start to give people your information, and I was giving it to them for free. Man, people wasn't interested because if you're giving away something for free, it don't hold no value. So in my mind, I'm like, damn, promotional wise, how do we do what's happening in the industry? This is what I seen them do. All right. But then I say, you know what, bro, let me start watching interviews of how people got it done, like Dame Dash, like Puffy, like Fat Joe. Yo, they used to go to the club, rent the club out, pay people to come to the club, throw money out. So you start looking at ways that guys was being ingenious with how they was doing their marketing. So I was like, how can we do this differently? So I started off, man, with the merch. We got the focus hats, we got the t-shirts. And then I said, you know what? I'll start teaching the homies the game. So fellas, I started off with a DJ pool, showing the homies how to do what? How to go ahead and register that music. You understand what I'm saying? How to actually go and get clearances, samples cleared, if that's what they wanted to do. I was showing the guys how to upload their music early on the distros. And those conversations I was having with the DJs, who I think are the backbone of the industry, it was different because their managers was like, yo, bro, you should be teaching them all this information. Why? Because they want them to stay ignorant so that they can continue to monetize their ignorance. So I try to use education, fellas, to circumvent all the BS that was happening in the industry. That's how I made real friends, real supporters, because I was offering them a different type of exchange. Yeah, a drop is okay from your favorite artist. But yo, bro, show me how to file my taxes, bro. Show me how to build up my personal credit. Show me how to set up my LLC or the resources that you use. So I try to make education that cool aspect. And you also got to be what you call put the medicine in the candy. I pulled up, bro, looking like all of the rappers, bro, and I was really successful. I got all the Rolls Royces, the Bentleys. I got tons of jewelry, bro, watches, rollies. So you also had to give people what they was looking for from a visual aspect as well. Right. To also get their attention, to give them the message. And information ain't sexy if it don't look successful.
Absolutely. I used to see that all the time. Even certain artists didn't want to mess with certain producers if they wasn't pulling up, in a certain thing or
Certain
rocking
yeah.
a certain type of wears or whatever the case. And, you know, it does come down to image also, you know, so I definitely agree and see that in the journey as well. Moving on, I got a couple of notes here. As far as social media, how do you like view the role of social media in shaping like artists' careers? Like, you know, we know it's important. Look what just happened with Universal and TikTok.
Facts.
You know, so like, what do you think is going to happen? How important?
But like this, right? It didn't affect a guy like myself at all, right? Because we independent. So think about it like this. Universal own all of these artists' rights, and they are representing the artists and their best interests, not the artists, but their best interests as a company. When our favorite artists, guys that are billionaires, millionaires, they sign on record deals, they sign away their rights to come to the table to negotiate for themselves. Whether it's a streaming royalty, whether it's the rate they get paid, whether you can put your music in this commercial, that video game, or what platform. You understand what I'm saying? They didn't say, yo, look, man, we got Jay, we got B, we got Taylor Swift. We all sitting at the table trying to figure out if we're going to negotiate with TikTok. No, Universal said that's 1% of our income. This doesn't make sense for us. We don't just want exposure. We want a part of the equity in y'all platform. Man, TikTok, like my nigga, it's a blessing that y'all get our platform, that you get our eyeballs, that we can make your song branded in the way that it is, and you guys want too much of the piece of the pie. So social media, bro, is a tool for exposure, right? Look how many people have become overnight sensations because their songs gone viral. The game is to learn the algorithm, all right? For me, I got into that space where people like, why would you buy followers, likes, comments, views? Because it's a fucking algorithm. It's metrics that they value your content off of. Just like we talked about, fellas, when y'all see the homie come through, man, on the block with a nice car and a jewelry, just think of social media and technology as the same exact way. They are invisible metrics, stats that put us in position and give us exposure over other people, bro. There's the one difference from this interview and us saying something amazing and viral versus a Earn Your Leisure. Right now, they got the metrics. Right now, they got the stats that's going to support them getting exposure on the Explore page. So when I seen that, fellas, I said, nah, bro, I need a machine to manipulate this because I can't leave that up to chance. I work too hard, bro, on my skill set. I work too hard on the production of the work that I'm doing for people not to see this. All right. My family is watching me be tucked away in my podcast room hours on end. I got to monetize this because you can't get time back. You got to make it make sense. So instead of complaining, that's when I say, yo, bro, I'm going to master the panels. I'm going to find out which ones work because that shit is also trial and error. And I'm going to bust my ass to perfect this skill set. And then I'm going to monetize it because now my trial and error, my pain and sweat is going to be somebody else's way to get ahead. So, bro, you need a fucking 1,000 likes on your page, bro. That's $100. I guarantee it works. And this is how you utilize it. This is the strategy. Let me break it down for you. So Chad Focus with 100,000 followers, fellas, saying the same shit he said 8 years ago ain't the same. Chad Focus with 500,000 followers, bro. We lit just because of perception, just because of artificial inflation, artificial influence. That's the type of shit that people is on. So you guys was lucky because at least you understand it. Now you can use it to your benefit, use it to the better good, and also be glad that you guys are conscious of what's going on because 99% of people plugged in the matrix and don't have a fucking clue that the stake ain't real.
Yo, when you talk about artificial influence and you talk about panels, like how does one avoid the blacklisting, the suppression, the things that come along with sometimes when we use the panels? Should we even explain to the people what panels are so that they can really even understand when we talk about social media panels and what those like even are versus, so that not really letting the cat out the bag, but kind of letting folks understand what we're talking about.
It's something that is like you say, you talking about black hat panels, SEO software, like it's shit, bro, that is so deep that they wouldn't even be able to kind of comprehend what's going on, right? I get on academics page and I hear people talking about bots all the time and they looking at people's views and we look at the nigga Russ talking about streams and this and that. The perception of you being larger than you are, whether it's an artist or a brand, has always been a part of all of the marketing games. You understand what I'm saying? This has been forever, fellas. If you look back at Dick Clark and radio, you had to pay to play to get on radio. So what these panels are, bro, is ways to inflate your social media presence. And the blacklisting part of it, bro, is you got to also build up slowly. You got to build up in a way that looks organic. I come from that corporate world where we used to build up websites and their presence in Google, and it had to be gradual. That's all it really is, fellas. You got to go from 10 followers to 20 followers, 20 to 40. You can't go from somebody that's irrelevant, have 0 followers, to, a 500,000 followers in a week, 1,000,000 followers in a month. You got to build it up and make that shit make sense. And you got to be dedicated, bro, to that growth and that consistency. So what I see from people is that a guy like myself, I've been doing this shit for 10 years. And I've been putting together a certain budget with my organic metrics, fellas, which means my advertising, Instagram, Facebook. And I've been out here busting ass, man, with my panels, bro, my softwares. But it's been a balance of both. I'm not doing just one. That's what I want y'all to understand. Like, the guys that's doing the streaming the best is probably organically doing 1,000,000 streams so that they can go and buy a fabricated 1,000,000 streams. Now you got 2,000,000. So you got to make it make sense. That's a part of it. You understand what I'm saying? And that's the space that I've been on, bro. And not everybody is going to see the investment or the reason to. And like we talk about talent wise, you think you just talented, bro. You can sing, dance, rap. They're going to come and find you. So many of our people are ignorant to the fact of what organic really is. And I got homies that wear that shit like a badge of honor. Like, no, my nigga, it's just going to happen, bro, because I'm nice. I'm like, bro, that's the stupidest shit I ever heard. They look at marketing like a scarlet letter. Like, yo, why would I ever do marketing, son? When you nice, you don't got to do no marketing. And there's so many people that propel that type of ignorance and mentality on us. So before we even get to the space of the panels, people got to see the fucking, reason for marketing. And they ain't even got to that space yet, fellas, for them to even take a chance at risk, their profiles or shadow ban or shit like that. And that's my problem. I see niggas more scared to fucking risk losing their social media platforms than going outside and risking penitentiary chances in the streets, my nigga. Now that right there is absolutely buffoonery. I got gangsters call me all the time, bro, talking about, yo, bro, why would I want to do that? You sure it's going to be okay? My nigga, you went outside last week, sold crack, bro. What are you talking about, bro? Like, there's no way that we having this conversation and you fearful about what's going to happen on the internet to your fucking Instagram profile. You can build another one. You only get one life.
Absolutely.
You're talking that talk right now, Chad.
But it's also interesting, the major record labels are doing the same thing.
Facts. They created it, fellas. They invented it, though. You understand what I'm saying? They invented it, but you also got to respect it, right? They always say, yo, hate the player, not the game. It took a while for me not to hate the guys that was getting, positioned. All right, because like I said, I'm independent, so I'm trying to figure out, like, yo, why I ain't getting the traction I want? I'm paying the radio ads, bro. I got the DJs. It's why they call it the machine. You understand what I'm saying? And the labels understood, bro, what artificial influence always meant. That's why they would take a star artist that they were trying to put in front of us and take them to the Apollos and the radio stations, and they get to go do the freestyles. That's what you call your press run. Somebody that we don't know, that they have now, as we call it, industry planted into our lives, fellas, right? So while they were doing that and they were transitioning from what we call the analog era, where people was going to the CD stores and the Best Buys, they seen where social media was going to go. So guess what? They started investing in those platforms. So don't forget that your Sonys, your Warners, your Universal, they got stakes, bro, in your Spotifys. They got stakes in your Instagrams, your YouTubes, right? Liar Cohen, bro, owned 300 Entertainment, and now these motherfuckers is the presidents and shit, YouTube Music. You don't think that's a conflict of interest? You don't think the guys that he associated with is going to get preference in their algorithm? You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
How does they've been posturing and making this work in their favor, bro, since before we was even having a conversation about this stuff.
It's true. That's facts right there.
Understand what I'm saying? Think about a playlist, right, on Spotify. That shit just is legal payola right now, right?
Yeah, that's what it is.
DistroKid will say, look, if you pay for playlisting, we're going to flag your record because that is against the fucking terms of service. How the fuck you think all of these major artists, bro, come up with a new song and get on Rap Caviar and there's no independent artists on this motherfucking playlist, period, point blank. Like, independent artists don't get popping music.
Right, because it's the major labels that they're in bed with. So
they didn't put themselves in position, fellas.
Yeah.
So you see like what you just brought up now. You just brought up DistroKid, right?
Yeah.
What's your take on DistroKid? We know that Spotify owns a stake in those folks. Should folks even be using DistroKid in 2024?
Listen,
considering all the Spotify changes and all the situation with rates right now.
I'll be honest with you. I got so many different distribution platforms, and I tell people at times, right, like, yo, stay away from DistroKid, but I don't fuck with none of them, to be honest with you, because they all got shit with them. And put it like this, I used to be with TuneCool, we would get our payouts, everything would be up and up. Now, because of the major labels, they got their hands in everything that's going on with any platform, fellas. All right? Your TuneCores, your United Masters, your motherfucking DistroKid, they can control your payouts.
Yep.
They can flag your payouts. They can flag a record you're trying to release. You think they get us money back to the distribution? I mean, to the DSPs, Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music? Hell no, bro. They'll keep your money. So it's super duper unfair, bro, for the independent artists because we fighting so many battles. All right. The reason why Spotify owns a DistroKid is because that has been the platform that is mainly known by independent artists, specifically young hip hop artists, right? Mm-hmm. Because it's the one that's the easiest to use, fellas.
Right.
Think about why that is. It's the simplification of the platform. We get on that shit, upload music, it's there the next day. They ain't giving us no real tools, no features, no extra visibility. So now, whatever you doing, Spotify got access to the data to see what you doing, how you marketing, what makes sense, what don't make sense. It's basically like getting in bed with the enemy, bro. You working for the boys. So that's why, think about it. If you Spotify owned by Sony, and you got DistroKid, they gonna get money from us any way possible that they can, bro. Anyway, they gonna take the money from the independent artists, bro, to make sure that they put it back into the machine. So no matter what, you a part of this setup. Now they do have white label distribution for people that's on another level that want to go ahead and maintain their own systems. We got platforms like what LaRussell is doing with even.biz, which allows you to kind of create a pay what you want type of setup, sort of like what Nipsey was doing and Ryan Leslie. So it's different platforms, fellas, that have forced us to start being a little bit more strategic and dependent on ourselves. You got Shopify platforms, you got WordPress. You can go ahead direct to the consumer. Right. So that's what I want people to start understanding technology, because all these distros are doing, fellas, is building a platform that allows us to get our music from A to B. Yo, your real fan base, and that's what you got to start to actually emphasize, will support you. Y'all got a podcast. There's real fans that'll support us, whether we on Patreon, Streamlabs, YouTube, Spotify. We're going to put it on these platforms with those people that really support us. They will come to where we tell them to come to.
One of the things that we've been championing on our podcast is the direct-to-consumer. Thanks. Leaving everything solely up to a platform kind of sets yourself up for cancellation. Yeah. And pretty much the rules to that platform is if Spotify doesn't like what you're saying, they could just easily remove it. And they just did that with Kanye, where they were giving him a hard time uploading his own music, you know? So having your own website and having that relationship directly to your consumer, we always championed. We always said, you know what, God forbid your music is removed off of a YouTube, off of a Spotify, off of whatever. Have that relationship with your consumer that they know they could come to your site and they can still get your material, they can still get your content, they can still get your merch. And then most important, when direct to consumer, when you got their information, now you could customize to their thing. Yeah, you can go to their region, you can go to their city and say, I'm putting on a show, here's some tickets. You could do a whole special thing, and it's a whole lot of better relationship, So I see where it's going as far as consumer base like that. I think the relationship, that's where it really needs to go.
And I'll tell y'all this, the way I came home, fellas, like, I've been home, man, for the last 14 months. I started building my independent business, man, when I was at the halfway house. My brothers, like, I would take half of my day and go do everything we had to do programming wise. And then, you know, I got on a little, you know, cell phone. I got on the laptop. I spent time in the computer lab. And I built mine on a platform called ClickFunnels. You guys might have heard that before.
Yeah.
So I said, look, bro, I'm going to take the information and the expertise that I have. I'm going to come to social media where people can find me. That's kind of like my vehicle to get the information out, fellas. And then I got my own university. So I said, I'm going to build Focus Music University. If I got 1 million followers and I can create enough value for this platform, which is $997, $997, right? Boom, I got a platform that's almost $1,000. All I need, fellas, is 1% of the followers that I got on the internet to be a millionaire. We do 1,000 sales at $1,000, which I did easily last year while on house arrest. And I put out enough value that at least 1,000 people that see all of these interviews, right? These podcasts will come and want to get extensive understanding of what Chad Focus brings to the table. I made more money off of one interview with the Brand Man Network, DJ Payne, Vice TV than I ever made as an artist, because I'm also giving away the value. Right? And so now I got a list, like you guys are talking about, of people that if I want to take over the iTunes charts, I got 1,000 people on the list that I can exchange value. Yo, look, everybody, you can do a maximum of 4 sales on iTunes. I put out a new book. It's going to be for you guys. Just send me a screenshot of you buying my record the 4 times. I need everybody to go buy my record on March 2nd, 2024. I want to be #1 on the charts, like a Nicki Minaj, like a Ice Spice, man, like a Drake. So now, bro, it's all about marketing and exchange of value. I know how to put myself in position to get 4,000 sales, 8,000 sales, 12,000 sales, because I've been building an infrastructure that allows me to go direct to the consumers, exchange value, and they go to, you know, return it as well, bro. So it's an even exchange, man, with your client base.
Wow. Yeah.
And see, that's another part of it that I want to get into, because, you know, we talk about direct to consumer. We're talking about being able to use customer data for the advertising, retargeting, right?
Yeah.
Building custom audiences, all of these things that we're trying to tell new artists that this is the way now. Like the way that you thought it was, this is the new way that we have to start going in the situation. Let me ask you something as it relates to the streaming. Are we accurate in saying that streaming is almost dead for independent artists based on what these guys have done in terms of, you know, the algorithm and 1,000 minimum pays and, you know, frauds?
Streaming more live than it ever been, fellas. You just got to get more intricate in what you're doing. You understand what I'm saying? That right there, guys, is one of the top streaming farms in the world. I'm one of the best that ever done it. Like I said, the game is to always keep on testing, right? Yeah. So not only do you got the streaming farms now, your ability to actually utilize that, and then we just talked about marketing, right? How you guys were talking about targeting, retargeting, putting together your campaigns, data, metrics. To me, man, it's been about just your skill set. So streaming will never be dead, fellas. As long as they can make money off of it, we can make money off of it. So what I've been doing with Focus University is that I show people how to acquire ownership of catalog. All right. Just yesterday, I was on a platform called Royalty Exchange. I don't know if you guys remember the record Panda that was by the artist designer.
Yeah.
They selling that piece of that actual producer's royalty for about $85,000. You could own a song that was #1 in the world 2015. The harsh part about it is that it only made about $16,000 last year as far as royalties. But if you own major artists' catalog, you can use your streaming systems. It's just about using your mindset the same way that the labels do. Wow. They just acquire a catalog, and if you own pieces of major label catalog, you can do your streaming systems. If you have a large catalog like myself, you can stay underneath of the threshold. That's what I did on the Brand Man Network. I said, look, fellas, I got a large catalog. I do 3,000 streams per day off of these different amounts of records. Because of the volume of records I have, it adds up over time. This is how I'm able to generate my income and stay underneath of the thresholds and the detection issues. And it continuously, fellas, becomes me testing and us tweaking. And I've been doing this every time they make an adjustment, every time they make a change, no matter what. If you about this, like, bro, you're going to keep adjusting.
Wow.
Listen, I hope people are paying attention to what you're dropping right here, because it really is a whole lot of jewels in terms of, you know, what's happening in this situation. So for more context for these folks, let's say now it's 2024. I'm a new artist. I'm a new artist. I'm a new independent artist. Like, what's the top 5 things you recommend that these folks do, to kind of get themselves a little bit of traction in 2024, considering where everything is at?
From the jump, man, like I said, I do a lot of consultations, fellas, and 90% of these artists, they aren't even taking control of their like admin. You know what I'm saying? So control what you can control. Make sure your contracts is on point. Make sure that if you're going to be out here using samples, that you get your clearances and stuff right. I talk about the admin process, fellas, making sure your record with the MLC, Sound Exchange, Song Trust, Nielsen, SoundScan, BMI, ASCAP, CSEC, those type of things that you got to do prior. Take care of your business before you even get into the space, right? And that's what I emphasize most importantly. Second thing I want you to focus on is making sure your personal credit and your business credit is in position that you can then advertise. That's what the entire game is for every industry is, do you have the money to advertise to your audience, no matter what? And if you can invest in building your audience, you can monetize that audience, no matter how big or how small, whether you got 100 fans, 200 fans, 1,000 fans. So once again, I'm going to emphasize that. Making sure you take care of your business and you put yourself in position to be able to advertise and to collect your data. And as you build up and stay consistent, that's going to grow over time. And I want y'all to always have what you would call a mentor. The perfect example, if you are independent, is to watch the people that are most successful that's doing it. Your Ryan Leslie and what he's doing with his Superphone platform. D1 Music, young brother that's doing Christian rap and getting a lot of visibility and traction right now for holding brothers accountable in the hip hop space. And of course, La Russell, who went from 0 followers to 1 million followers off of ad-based and delivering content on a consistent basis. I gave you 3 examples of what you just got to watch. And then you see a platform of Even.biz and how this kid is making 100 sales, turning to $8,000, which is the equivalent of 2.3 million streams. How difficult would it be to get that as an independent artist a day versus having 100 true fans that support you and appreciate your art? So that's what I tell people, man. Lock in on who's doing it the right way, learn the skill set, take care of your business infrastructure. And if you don't learn how to do this advertising and marketing, you're wasting your time. And if you don't find somebody in your team or put somebody in your team that's capable of doing such, you're going to deal with those issues. One of my biggest websites that I outsource to guys is called Fiverr.com. You can get this type of support and whatever you're trying to do, business related, for as little as $5, because there's people around the world in Palestine, Philippines, Bangladesh, China that have the skill sets and that our currency is worth more to them over there than it is for us over here. The help and the resource is always available.
Let me ask you something. We all know that this business is also very predatory. There are a lot of people out here making promises to upcoming artists that they can do this, they can do that. Do you have any tips to kind of like watch out for when dealing with certain individuals? Because, they're out there making claims that they can, boost streams or they can get you hot. And, a lot of times it's just false promises and these young kids getting in the game will just end up going broke.
Yeah, man. Young, old, it don't even matter. I think that, like you guys said, bro, so much information out there. Use your YouTube, bro. Use it as a tool, right? So, like I said, for me, man, I've been home. I've been able to study guys with their platform, like the DJ Paynes, man, and the Brand Man Networks and Dorian Group 82. It's some guys that you can consistently watch from afar and see how legit they are, right? So if you patient and you study, you'll be able to find those resources, and the bullshit will separate itself from the real shit, to be honest with you. Because it's only a certain amount of guys, bro, that's out here that one got the skill set, that got the understanding, that got the intelligence, and also speak with conviction and know what they're talking about, and that can also provide results. That's where I'm at, bro. I don't think it's too many guys that can pull up a screenshot of a campaign they running or what their streaming farm really look like. So that's how I separate myself, right? When I go on Vice TV and you seeing the results, like, okay, this kid did a billboard campaign. Oh no, he had the biggest billboard campaign in New York City, right? Kid from Baltimore. He got Times Square on Live, Bronx, Brooklyn. He got bigger billboards than Beyonce. So I understood the Clear Channel game. When we look at what we was doing with the concerts, all right, you got Live Nation and AEG. They are listing the tickets and then they are relisting the tickets. So they got a third-party ticket scalping scheme going on all right, y'all seen me go ahead and take advantage of that. Bring Lil Baby and Moneybagg Yo to Baltimore, make myself a co-headline. Instead of being an opening act that gets taken advantage of by the promoters, I became a promoter. Fuck I look like letting another nigga put me on a flyer and make me pay him to get on the stage. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that type of mentality, guys, is people out here that's giving away the game. You got to be patient enough. You got to be hungry enough to go out here and find the information. Like you guys know how important this podcast is. So this could save a lot of guys' lives or save you a lot of money if you're looking in the right places. What kind of research are you doing to come and find what you good brothers are doing right now for these artists that didn't have this back in the day? So 20 years ago, we could give you a pass for that ignorance. Not no more. When Snoop Dogg said he did 1 billion streams, he only got $40,000. That mean that Uncle Snoop only got 1% of his net profits from his situation. That mean that he signed some type of deal that put him in that position, or the label is cooking the books. So either which way, he going to have to go audit them guys, right? Chamillionaire did that. Russ did that. Master P did that. Those are the type of interviews I watch and learn from when these young brothers say that Michael Jackson taught them how to go audit the record labels. So you're auditing. What does that look like, man? And what does you fishing for the information look like? That's what I tell the homies.
You know, not for nothing. It is very true, and we've seen it firsthand. These record labels are definitely cooking the books. They are definitely hiding money that they owe you, especially and to all of the old school like artists, producers, you know, legacy artists. There are a lot of money that's actually hidden, and you won't get it unless you go and claim, you go and audit them. You know, you really have to go out there and get it. They're not going to just give it to you. You know, even if they owe it to you, they're not just going to give it to you. And there were a couple of things that we found out doing some more research, and it was amazing how, you know, they're sitting on some monies for a lot of artists and producers, and they just won't give it to them unless they
they're not going to pay you. Right? That's the thing.
We don't have a conversation enough about what that advance really is when people are going out here and trying to get these record deals. When you're selling away your ownership, your rights, those things that we don't ever talk about, right? How they repay you back your royalties and your money. So a lot of artists don't realize that, all right, cool, they give you $1 million advance. Now they're going to take the money to pay themselves back based off of your percentage that you get and your recoup. Yeah. So even your negotiations from the beginning got to put you in position to make money. All right. They just had Eric Sermon on talking about how he's making like $215,000 from the weekend. You right. He did the cover of his song. That's great business. He makes $1 million a year from a song that came out 20, 30 years ago because his publishing is intact and his business is in great position. He don't even got going tour, fellas, and he's going to make 7 figures this year.
Or for 4% he owns from the record because
he don't own but 4% on the record.
Yeah,
but that's because he didn't relinquish to sell his publishing like a lot of artists did in the beginning. When they come to you and they say, "Hey, take the advance," and they get their catalog sold, and you know, versus getting maybe an admin situation where you may say, "Okay, you can admin it, but I still own it." But these guys, you know, and some guys don't even want to do that. Don't even want to. They wind up selling it because they need the money.
But you know what?
Look at that situation.
It's a key. There's a key word that Chad said, which is patience.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta be patient, and you know, a lot of times people are just so money hungry because of whatever situation they're in, and they're just making bad decisions. You know.
Yeah.
You got to be patient. You got to read the board and take your time. You know, and unfortunately, if you're desperate and you're impatient, you know, you can make some bad decisions that's gonna hurt you in the long run. So
they play on our desperation, man. And like I said, fellas, the information out there and in abundance, right? We never had artists, man, new, young, old, getting on platforms and giving away the education because this wasn't a thing back in the day. So there's no more excuses, right? I just seen an interview that Fabio Foreign did, man, on the Math Hoffa show, and he's talking about, I got this $1.7 million deal. Mace got $750,000. I took the money and immediately I brought a car, I brought homies chains, I took it. None of that was talking about investments. None of that was talking about, I went and got me an 800 credit score. I went and flipped 4 LLCs. I got age corporations. Like none of that was, damn, bro, I took $1 million and turned it into 10. It was about how I got 1.7 and spent $1 million of it as soon as I got it.
Yeah.
Right? And none of it was talking about, yo, what those taxes look like. So us as good brothers now, we know that 1.7 is really 800,000.
Yeah.
Hey, we know that.
Yeah.
So none of that conversation was, yo, I got 1.7 set aside 800, yo, for taxes to stay out of the bullshit. Or I sent 800 away, I flipped it, yo, to 1.6. So I got my tax money and I got this money.
Right.
It's like, damn, bro. And these are some of our most popular artists, the leaders of the new school. The things that we are learning about financial literacy, bro, and how to be in position, not just today, but years from now, it's hard to watch because all I seen from that interview after that was like, damn, math-wise, my brother already under.
Yeah. Yeah.
You couldn't have said, yo, when I watched that myself, I'm looking at that, I'm like, but he didn't know. And there's nobody around. And this is the thing, like, you know, Mike, you always say this is like, yo, where is the new artist starter pack, you know? So that, and not the starter pack with the jewelry and everything, the starter pack and say, okay, this is what you got to do with your money. This is how you got to transition from being in this position to this position. Because now you go from being broke to being rich. And at the same time, it's like, okay, now if you take this money and you do the right things with it, you can continue to grow yourself. But we don't have these, you know, I know you might say that, hey, the information is out there. But what I realize is that people don't seem to want this information unless, like you said, unless it's dressed up in a whole bunch of, you know, flashy, so forth and so on. It's like, it's crazy.
It gotta be spoon fed to you, right? And this is my thing, right? You know, Mace had issues with Puff and the business not making sense, right? And so when you get somebody like Mace that's in your corner, you hoping that kind of alleviates those issues, right? You like, I got a mentor that can kind of teach me
exactly.
And instead, it's more predatory when we talking about, dang, you got 750,000 and y'all fell out. Because of course, now I'm in position, it's a monetary transaction and investment. So it's different now, right? And it's not just, like I said, fellas, in hip hop culture, think about our pro athletes, fellas, that go bankrupt, right? That make 20 million, but they spend 20 million. Now they under 10. We don't have those conversations as well. I've been through it myself, made millions of dollars. Next thing you know, I woke up with tax liens and all types of shit from not taking care of certain business, right? And my book's not being right, bro. And I'm not understanding how QuickBooks works and paying off your taxes quarterly. I done had my LLCs not in good standing just because I didn't know how to pay $300 a year, you know, for certain property taxes. And like, it's just those small things. So what I did, fellas, is I put together those resources, created my own book, The Hustler's Guide. Boom. People sign up for my email list. They get a 200-page resource. But this nigga's gonna open that up and read the information. All right. Chad Focus got the Vice TV joint, bro, Black Market. That shit gate kept. Vice TV got all of that dopest content completely on their YouTube channel. They got my shit, which is the best stuff and the most controversial and snippets. So I look at all these niggas on the internet talking about, yo, how does this streaming work and why the industry this and that. And we got a fucking 45-minute documentary that'll change the game. I'd probably be one of the most famous niggas in the world if that was on Netflix. So even the production and the way that was rolled out, the fact that it's never been covered on the Say Cheese or Academics or World Star Hip Hop, that I'm like super duper underground famous for the people that really want to know what's going on. And then we got a lot of talking heads that's talking about what they think is going on. That's the also misinformation, bro. Who is the messengers? Who are we allowing to bring the message to our people? And a lot of times it's the ignorance of, we got talking heads and these niggas don't know what's going on. And ain't nobody trying to pay them no attention. They ain't got no skin in the game.
Yeah, we talk about that a lot too, Doug, right?
It's by design, bro. They don't want your information out. Like, that's really what it's gonna come down to. Like, they don't want your information out. The suppression is gonna come. They're gonna do everything they can because they don't want to have people that look like us to be empowered in any way or fashion. So like, listen, man, I wish I'd have reached out sooner. I ain't gonna hold you. Like, because to be honest, what you have and what you understand, it's like I'm looking at somebody that really understands what's going on. It's just stuff that me and Mike been talking about for the last 10 years. We've been talking about this stuff. Like, people don't seem to understand what's really going on. And then remember, we have that, you know, coming from the industry. Like, now we like, okay, we was at Loud Records and we was with the Mobb Deeps and with the Big Puns and then when I moved from New York to Atlanta, and then I see this other situation where Mike was saying about, you know, folks that kind of do a predatory thing on the artist, kind of, hey, you know, join my showcase, somebody's gonna come through, nobody's coming, you know, do this, we're gonna do this, we're gonna put you in this DJ pool, ain't nothing happening.
Bro, I've been through, but let me tell you why I felt I felt like it's my responsibility, even though it might not be. I've been through all of that shit, right? I've been through the coast to coast and the showcases, and we're gonna get you in this position, that position, right? To the point that I went to those and then had to create my own and rig them for my artists. So I've been on all the sides of it, and I didn't want to be a part of the problem. You understand what I'm saying? Because once I learned the information, now I can manipulate and put myself in position. That's what the niggas before us did. So I was in that space, guys, and sitting down, catching that fucking case 5 years ago, not having no co-defendant, standing on your own 10 toes. I was like, yo, I don't want nobody else to go through this shit that I went through, right?
You
So
know,
where I'm from, so many of these rappers is folding, man, because these niggas never had no character. Go on this side of the courtroom and telling on your man to get a lesser sentence when you knew what you signed up for, that ain't never been G. But we also promote those stories on a consistent basis. We don't talk about a nigga that stood silent and took care of his business.
that's true.
And that's what we also got to look at what we doing and what we putting out there. That industry shit y'all talking about, bro, I done paid to have radio campaigns and looked up in my media base numbers and it didn't make sense, all right? I done put together certain DJ pools and gave them to the big homie. He paying the DJs 10% of the money I gave them when I can go directly to the DJs and make my budget stretch and make sense if I build direct relationships. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I know what it's like to go ahead and be an opening act artist and then you performing in front of fucking nobody. So that's why Chad Focus came and rigged the shows. I wanted to make sure that opening act artists performed in front of the same audiences as Lil Baby and Moneybagg Yo, because what you spending your money for? The exposure. You want somebody to hear your freestyle that's a fan of theirs and become a fan of yours. If you opening up and ain't nobody at the damn show, what is the point of being an opening act?
Yeah. All you did was help sell the tickets.
Yeah.
And that's the conversation that we not having. And I've watched homies be ready to kill their mans for getting that spot because he got the $3,000 to give to the promoter and the better artists don't, instead of realizing, yo, bro, we both still in the same fucking position. They'll put us against each other.
You know, that's why we have this platform, man. Like, you know, me and Jug coming up, you know, there were a lot of things we had to just do on our own and figure out. There was no information. We had to really figure it out. You know, we had to stumble. We, you know, get record deals, get this and that. We got all of these things, but we had to do it on our own as trial and tribulation, you know, and we wish that there was somebody back in the days to say, hey, do it like this, don't do it like that, because, you know, you're going to go this route. So that's one of the reasons why we decided to have this platform, just to kind of, you know, give some real jewels to real talk, because they're not talking about it. They're not giving you the information for free out there. And, you know, you got to also watch who you're getting the information from, like you were saying. You know, there's so much misinformation. There's people that just want the clout.
Yeah.
So they're in front of the camera just for the clout and have no skin in the game, have no credentials. And you're like, who is this guy giving this information? They haven't been around the block.
Well, I'll tell you what's funny, bro. Like I say, I'm from Baltimore. I just finished watching Club Shay Shay with Monique, and the Monique interview was just as dope as the Cat Williams. And hers was like, she came with receipts, right? And that's what I'll say too. Ask these people for their receipts. Like I say, for me, when I say 6-time Billboard charting artist, man, that shit is solidified. That's black and white. That's in the platform. That's in a database. I can't make this up. I know exactly what it takes, what kind of data, the amount of sales, digital downloads, media base, the formula, the strategy. Like, I'm really, I forced myself to go and master those things. And it's guys that I had to study to learn who was who and who wasn't.
Right.
Also, fellas, a big thing as far as we're talking about predatorial, these mainstream artists, bro, that do features, that one, know that they can't get these records cleared, that just take these young artists' money. That shit right there, bro, is probably one of the illest parts of the game. So my situation that I'm very transparent about is, I got a Billboard charting record, Dance With Me, dope shit, Baltimore. I got a hit record. I know what I'm doing. I go put T-Pain on the feature. Boom, yo. Drop off the brown paper bag money. They bypassed me going to get in my lawyer because they wanted to make a quick setup. Now my contract and certain concessions and stuff, it's lit, but it's not all the way it needs to be. Like, yo, we got to have a certain promotion schedule. I need this to be on this TikTok, Snapchat. So certain negotiations that would also increase my visibility and my exposure, right? Him being a lead artist, so I can put it on Spotify a certain type of way to get in front of his fan base. All right, cool. We got a video shoot. If you're going to show up, cool. I'll give you the other half then. If you don't show up, this is how we're going to take care of our business. It's all types of things that you go through. So even the feature, of the mainstream artist or the popular artist for the independent guy or the up and coming guy. That is one of the biggest predatory ways. Guys, make sure that you're doing the right business. Put yourself in position with the right lawyer. That's going to be the best investment that you ever going to make. And do not go and do a feature with a mainstream artist that's not going to be beneficial for you as far as the promotion and the marketing of their platform. Take that money and invest in yourself. So eventually they'll want to do a feature with you where you guys are splitting the publishing, and it makes sense for both of y'all. So that's the one thing I want to tell artists. Take that money you giving these niggas, bro, and invest into your marketing and building your brand up. And when they see you shining, then you go and do a feature and you make it mutually beneficial.
I'm glad you spoke on that, because all over social media you're seeing that. You're seeing that DM me for the feature, DM me for the feature. And it's like, really? You know, so I'm glad you spoke on that, because that is something that's going on right now.
Which episode of our podcast we talked about that? those features that you don't have all of the rights, the folks are not going to promote it. You know, we had an artist that we work with, and you know, they were signed, and you know, they had a big feature from a big artist. You know, they paid what, $50,000, right?
Yeah.
Up to $50,000. Could not get one social media post on the feature.
You talking to him? I gave, and like I said, it's no beef because I learned, right? I gave T-Pain $50,000. Y'all ain't never seen T-Pain post him and Chad Focus Dance with me. How big would that be for my exposure, my career, you know, my fan base, right? And at the end of the day, people didn't know the moves I made strategically as an artist. So they seen me pop up. The first you ever heard of me was my, you know, Fed scandal and what I went through. Yo, this nigga been out here making moves in the industry that they ain't want people to know about. You know, been selling out concerts, been doing big time features, been doing CIAA world tours. I done opened up and co-headline with your E40s, your Rick Rosses, your Jacquez's, your Drew Hills, your LMAs. And that's something that they don't want you to realize is possible, because one, I'm an independent artist, fellas, and I made it happen myself. And they can't see a system where independence allows you to get the same exposure as everybody else. I've been on BET Awards, red carpet, all of these things is possible. So that's why I say my brand is rich over fame, right? I became rich. Now we famous. I much rather this position than being famous and not being rich. That shit would have sucked. And they didn't like that I took the other route.
Wow.
Man, you're saying so much right now, brother. It's like you're saying so much. So I want, so give people more insight in terms of your university.
Yeah.
I know that you said you were using, you know, different platforms to do that. I know that's for another conversation, but you know, let people understand, like, you know, the university, what's in it for them,
Super
you
dope,
know,
man.
how folks can learn and so forth and so on.
So our university, guys, Focus Music University, focusmusicuniversity.com. You can check us out. When you go there, it's going to be a capture page that gives you access to the sales page. And what we do, man, is that I break down the entire game, just like what we've been doing right here, brothers. You know, I done put together pre-recorded modules where they can watch the content and learn at their own pace. Not only do I give them the game on how to do this independently, I give them the inside track to the marketing and how to set up the infrastructure to do the streams, bro, how to reinvest, how to set up the advertising. And for those people that don't want to do it themselves, I built my own marketing agency. It's called streamhawk.com, where me and my team will do it for you. Anything from your social media promotion, setting up your ads, helping you with the systems. You want a server, you want to learn how to do the bots, you need access to the panels. We the best in the world at doing this. So I figured out, yo, boom, I'll put together the education and I'll build a platform for these people to be able to execute what they need. And you can always find me on Instagram, man. It's Chad Focus. And then my actual, you know, tagline is I am Chad Arrington. You'll see us with the blue check getting busy. You know, we dropping content. And then they'll see stuff like what we're doing right here today, guys. You know, we'll have a recap of this interview. We'll put together some clips that's really dope that can help these guys out. And I'm consistently doing this on a month-to-month basis, bro. So they're going to always get the game from us. And we always going to be accessible. You can DM me. You can click the link in the bio. For real. And let's get busy.
Appreciate that, man. Any parting or, you know, any information that you want to give to the folks out there who may be listening, just looking at your situation, understanding it, because we totally understand exactly everything that you've gone through.
Yeah.
So we you know, anything that you want to give to the folks, any tidbits?
No, I just want to say most definitely I appreciate you good brothers, man. For one, it's humbling to even get an opportunity to be on the platform and to continue to like shed light and tell our story, right? You know, like I said, I'm a young dude here from Baltimore. This wasn't the path that we chose. So this is proof that anything possible, right? I want everybody to check out, man, like I said, the Vice TV Black Market Season 2. It's Rage Against the Machines. Me and my good brother, Michael K. Williams, man, put together an amazing docuseries. Rest in peace to my big homie. That the information is out there for you guys. Take you through A to Z, everything you need to be equipped to come out here and do what you want to do out in the industry. Shout out to good brothers like yourself, man, because it's a lot of us that are doing this and doing it the right way. And we need more of us coming out here supporting each other, building each other up. And, you know, going forward, man, stay tuned, bro. We got a lot more music coming. You know, I'm super blessed to be back home. And I'm going to be back outside, as the young homies say nowadays. We lit. So it's coming soon, bro. You'll see us touching down. We're going to start doing the seminars. We're going to start bringing education and entertainment, you know, to the forefront. And we're going to make it cool again, man, to be slick, show your brother some love, be a positive guy in the community. And we're going to get it done the right way.
So one more time, the website. Give them the website one more time.
Website, focusmusicuniversity.com. My platform, chadfocus.com. Catch me on Instagram, YouTube, any platform. It's Chad Focus all over the world. Appreciate it, fellas.
Chad, thank you. We really appreciate you coming on here and just dropping these jewels for us. Thank you so much.
Jewels, man, like super jewels, man.
We need this to move the culture forward in a positive way. Without this, things are gonna fall apart. So thank you. We appreciate it.
Much love, man. I appreciate you, fellas, man. Scream at me.
Peace.
Arkatech